This NASCAR COTA and St. Pete betting recap edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states, and you get $20 free with promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, promo code SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, and we have wrapped up what was an exciting weekend of racing in two different locations with four different series. Sorry if I can count. But yeah, we hit it all this weekend, Cody, and it was glorious weekend of left and right turns, be it trucks or O'Reilly or the Cup Series or the IndyCar Series. There was just a lot of racing to be had, and we're not done yet, my friend.
We're just getting started. We'll go ahead and throw the car lift on there, Rod. I don't want to celebrate too early, but how about Tyler Reddick getting it done? Pretty solid weekend, I'll say. We'll obviously recap it as we go, but yeah, it was a fun weekend of racing. We're going to do it all again this week. This week we've got the O'Reilly Series, the Cup Series, and IndyCar all at Phoenix, and F1 kicks off, so we'll be touching on that as well down in Australia. So, yeah, fun week. I'm looking forward to it.
Indeed. Yes, congrats to Tyler Reddick, who has done and made history, the only driver in NASCAR history in the 70-some-odd years of this racing as the first driver to win the first three races of the season.
That's for, as unparity, whatever the opposite of parity is, that the sport had for such a long time. That's crazy to me that nobody's ever done it. And you see some of the names that got close to doing it, but yeah, it's crazy that it had never been done. And it's obviously an amazing feat. And you look at Phoenix this weekend, I don't want to get too far ahead, but he's not been good there in the fall race, but in the spring race, he's been really good there. So we could easily be talking about Tyler Reddick with a 4P to open the season, which would just be absolutely insane. Now, it's funny, you look at these, we've had 3 race win streaks before. We literally had one last year with Christopher Bell and all the jokes about, there's extra horsepower, all this. Like, well, we didn't say that about anybody else. So I don't think that's the case. It's an incredible feat, and momentum is real. A lot of people want to say that it's not, Rod, but it absolutely is real. And we're seeing it firsthand.
You see it in sports like basketball, where if a guy gets hot from a certain spot in the court, he just feels like he can hit it every single time. And I mean, we saw Steph Curry do it. We've seen the best free throw shooters in the world just get in that zone where they just don't miss a free throw for a very, very long time. And yeah, you're right. When drivers feel like they're in the zone and everybody else around them is slowing down, I mean, I feel for the field if Tyler Reddick gets hot. You were a couple of seasons too early on the championship tour, but boy, he's making a strong case for it now, isn't he?
Yeah. Hey, it's one of those things where you don't want to go too far and be like, oh my God, this is Tyler, like 2 drafting tracks, a road course. We haven't even got to an actual, like what you would consider a regular quote unquote NASCAR race, right? Of these traditional ovals. So let's not go too far. But I've been saying for a long time, I think he's the second most talented driver in the series. And winning at those tracks aren't easy. Yes, anybody can win at Daytona, but it still takes talent. And he obviously pushed through and put himself in the right spots at the right time to get things done. And it's a great start to the season. But we also saw Christopher Bell win 3 of the first 4 races last year. And I believe he ended the year with only 3 wins. So, or maybe he had 1 more in there. But either way, it's not just a foregone conclusion that it's Tyler Reddick's season. We haven't even begun to see what people are going to have this year. We're going to learn a lot the next 2 weekends, going to our first short track of the year at Phoenix this week, and then going to our first intermediate in 2 weeks from now at Las Vegas. We'll have to see. It's there's still a lot to learn for sure, and we don't even know where people really truly are yet.
Do we call Reddick the Giant Slayer? Is that his nickname already? I feel like that could be exactly what we call it from now on. I tell you, Giant Slayers, that's full of the bracket is full of them this year in the March Madness, and we are here again. SGPN giving away $25,000 in Survivor Madness, winner take all. One person, only one of you, is going to take home that $25,000 guaranteed cold hard cash. You want in on this? Of course you do. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor. New to Splash, use promo code SGPN. Play $5, get $50 in bonus entries when you are working that out. Big Cinderella. You wouldn't call Tyler Reddick a huge Cinderella, but maybe one of the evil stepsisters. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He's still a major throw.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know that I'd call it a Cinderella, but it was good. It was a good hit, 18-1, good hit. The mighty have fallen, SVG. So this is the conversation that I want to start with, because this is the big conversation for the weekend, right? And it begins with this. Everyone in the industry, not just us, not just all the gambling podcasts, not just all the folks talking about gambling on NASCAR, but the entire industry media machine was convinced and hyped up that SVG was going to win this race. And for good reason, right? Let's not say that this was all just, the big media hype to try to get everybody to get on SVG. He'd earned it. 5 road course wins in a row, right? Just one of the more dominant guys in the entire sport in the discipline. There's no reason to not think that he couldn't do it. But of course, there was the other side of it that was like, well, but he hasn't done it here yet. And then you rationalize it with, yeah, but whatever, this and that and the next. Well, it turns out, Cody, that he doesn't win at this track. So then all of these slam dunkers out there that say this was a complete slam dunk, how do you go back to your research and figure out if you did something wrong in believing the rest of the hype? Or was this just all right, we got to chalk it up to the fact that he just didn't get it done this time, and we'll be back on him again next time?
Yeah, so we've obviously had a day now to think about this and sleep on it and see where you were. Look, I, just as much as anybody else, if not more, was extremely confident in SVG. I told you to hammer it. Now, I did say you take insurance, and we often reference having insurance, and Reddick was one of those insurance pieces. Briscoe, who looked good for a while, was the other one, so I felt pretty good about those. And if you needed some Reddick insurance, you should have called 1-800-3-PETE this last week, Rod, because that insurance covered me, and we ended up okay on the day. But yeah, so you look back, and we were having this Discord in Discord, the discussion over there, and it's always fun to go back and forth. And I was right, you were wrong, whatever. But looking at it, was it a good bet to bet on SVG? So you go back, and obviously you can look at it and say, well, he didn't win, so it wasn't a good bet. But a losing bet isn't always a bad bet. And so the way that I look at it, the way that I break it down, big picture, is you go back, you have all the information you had pre this, right? He didn't win here last year, looked okay, fine. But then he goes on this massive run, just wipes the floor with everybody, 5 road courses in a row. Nobody could even sniff him, right? Ty Gibbs maybe just a touch at Mexico City for a little bit, but we know he was never going to beat him. Like, it was all SVG everywhere all the time, right? So then let's say you have all that information, and I showed you all the stuff from Win the Race, right? All the numbers were in his favor. He ran in the top 3 more than anybody. everything but laps led was Kyle Busch was more, but everything else, everything pointed to SVG, even though it was a 6th place finish, couldn't quite pass, whatever the case was. Now, let me give you additional information and let me tell you SVG in the second half of the last stage is going to be 2nd place on the bumper of 1st place. And you're going to have this. This is going to be the scenario, right? Would you still take this bet? And all day, there's only one car that's looked like they could be good enough to beat him. You could maybe argue a little bit on Ryan Blaney, but he was fast early and he fell off and just was never to be seen since. Reddick looked great all day. Clearly was the fastest car. So if you now have all the information you had pre-race and you tell me we've gotten to the 3rd stage, he's 2nd place, you still get him at plus 100, which he wasn't live, by the way. He was minus 170 or something. Yeah, I'm fucking taking that bet, but probably doubling more than I did on it already because everything says he's going to get it done. Now, Reddick ran a perfect race. He didn't make a mistake, and that's what you were clearly passing wasn't, and don't give me this, Zilisch passed 3,000 cars. Like, yeah, if you go to the back every time, you can keep passing the guys in the back. That's how it works. So you could do that every race and say you passed a lot of cars when you didn't actually go anywhere. But to the point of, you just couldn't get around Reddick because Reddick did it perfect. And shout out to Reddick for that. He's obviously come a long ways. And before SVG was here, he was the guy. Remember him the first year of Next Gen in the 8 car, like really good, all that stuff. But yeah, everything pointed to this was the bet to take. And I would have done it again. I would go back and place it again. And I think when we get to the next one, we're probably going to get similar odds now because he didn't win this time. And I don't know how you can look at it and look at the stats and he'll have won. I can't remember. I think Sonoma's next. Sonoma and San Diego back-to-back weeks.
They're back-to-back. I think it's San Diego and then Sonoma.
But either way, when we get to wherever it is, it's going to be hard not to bet on him again. You're going to take your insurance plays if they're going to give them to you like they did this week. We got great numbers on 2 of the better cars out there. Briscoe obviously ends up having a mechanical issue, but I would take this again because I think it was still the right call, even though obviously it doesn't cash and that hurts.
But so this is also a lot of what we talked about in the offseason as well, as far as what we can't control. And we can't control Tyler Reddick having an unreal day, right? And like Ty Gibbs said, that race was nuts because there were times where he was in the back and then he found his way up to the front again, and then he was back again and found his way. I mean, but the only person that didn't really seem to have that trouble was Tyler Reddick. He was in front and just stayed up front. Like it didn't matter the pit cycles. It didn't matter everything that happened. It just,
he fell back. It was crazy because he starts on the pole and you're thinking, okay, all right, this is cool. And then he falls to 8th in the first run and you're like, okay. The comments were made in the Discord like, oh, he pulled the wool over us because the broadcast all picked him, whatever. But I don't know. I think, honestly, I think if you want to blame it on something in particular, I think staying out for stage 1 is what cost SVG the win, because 100%. Had they flipped it there and gotten the track position, and if he would have ever got in front of Reddick would not have gotten around him. It was whichever one of those two had the track position was going to get it done. And I think that they thought, and I thought it too, that we can take this stage, we can get the points, and we can come back and win later because we have SVG. Why wouldn't you think that? And well, ends up not being the case. But had they not flipped the stage, and I made that comment back on the show, I don't think you can change your bets based on who's going to points race and who's not. And nobody predicted anybody that raced for point. It was just a crazy, chaotic. We thought this person was going to stay out. We thought this person wouldn't. And everybody flipped it and changed it. And you just don't know this. And I think, and listening to Denny Hamlin a little bit, like they didn't even know what they were going to do. It depended on what other people did, right? And so they just told him, be ready. We're going to make that decision last second, and you're either going to pit or you're not going to pit. So I think all of that just makes it hard to factor that stuff in. I'm not scared off SVG. He clearly had a great day, worked his way through the field a little bit multiple times, got up there with a shot, just didn't quite have enough. And Reddick literally laid down a perfect day and didn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, and that's why he cashed the 18-1 at the end of the day for all of us to be happy. All right, we'll continue to talk more about this race and everything else that we've got going on. We'll start taking your calls as well. But first, let me tell you about our friends over at Kalshi. Kalshi, a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. Kalshi's got a ton of trading options for all of your favorite sports. And besides sports, They've got a ton of other markets, including politics, entertainment, health. You can even trade on the weather with Kalshi. You can trade on absolutely anything. I've been telling you guys for the longest time, and I don't know if you've believed me or I don't know if you've actually taken this market, but if you haven't, do it now before it starts to flip even more. And that's, will the U.S. confirm that aliens exist before 2027? I say yes. It's 23 cents on that. It was as low one point at 13. So you missed out on 10 cents worth of value if you waited this long. But don't wait any longer. That $20 free that we'll give you $87 back when the U.S. confirms that there are aliens among us. New Kalshi customers get that $20 when they use promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Our friends at Rhythm have been on a heater for college football or college basketball and the NBA. Super easy to sign up. You can run predictions off the house model or make your own. Play with those sliders. Rhythm actually works really well with Kalshi as well. Looking to go premium? Now's a good time. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm. Use promo code SGPN25.
Checking with the chat real quick, Rod. Cousin Danny checking in. Said he's sorry for Marcus's loss. Marcus, of course, had Christopher Bell, as per usual. Bell did end in a few minutes. Cash some bets for you there. TK has developed a theory as to why SVG's car seemed worse than Connor's 2 years in a row. He seems haunted by past mistakes, like at the Glen when he made sure to not make a mistake in the bus stop 2 years in a row. King's killing it in the one and done. I accidentally picked Myatt Snyder this week, Rod, so that was kind of a mistake. Well, I mean, I picked Alex Bowman, but it ended up being Myatt Snyder.
That's true.
Yeah, TK says him getting the track limits dropping from 2nd to 27th in Xfinity a couple years ago made him overly care about being good in the S sector. Car was worse than the rest of the things. Cousin Danny thinks I have ZDS, Zilisch derangement syndrome, I would imagine. Which,
much like my host of our derangement syndrome.
Yes, on that point, King says if Zilisch didn't get spun that last time, it was going to get interesting. He was stupid fast before the last caution on the restart. But this is where you guys are all missing the point on Zilisch. I've never said Zilisch isn't great. I think he's going to be an amazing talent. Rod, spoiler alert, I actually am an admin that started a Connor Zilisch fan club group over on Facebook. So if you want to join the Facebook group, come join us. I love Connor Zilisch. I think the kid is going to be great. But the problem is, it doesn't always translate right away. You got a lot of stuff to learn. If he didn't get spun, well, that's the thing. He's going to get spun. We saw him get spun last year. He's going to put himself in bad positions because that's what you do as a rookie. I heard Denny Hamlin talking on his podcast. Oh, he passed the eye test the first 3 races. He was dead last coming into the points this weekend and had a shitty day and finished back. What eye test did he pass? I don't know how to not be in the right spot at the right time eye test. That's the only eye test he passed for me. Love the kid. He's going to be great. He's the next coming. I get it. But the reason I've been fading him, and I'm going to continue to fade him, is because he's not put it all together yet, as he shouldn't, because he's like fucking 16. But he's not. We're not there yet. And if that didn't happen, ask Mike Tomlin about that, right? If his aunt had balls, well, she'd be his uncle. Because, that's just like, yeah, if he didn't, well, part of the thing is he's going to put himself in bad spots. And that's where he's going to be. We told you not to bet on Hocevar because, well, people are going to want to pay him back, and Cole Custer decided to take one for the team this week. Like, that's how it is.
Rode the Dente straight into the wall. That's exactly what he did. Absolutely love it. All right. So if you want to call in, go join the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. There's a live event going on. Raise that hand. We will put your call on there. But let's take a look back even further in the weekend and go to our trucks real quick. Just a real quick recap of the truck betting card, which, by the way, that truck race was phenomenal at St. Pete. I 1,000% loved every second of that.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Just the aesthetics of how that looks, right? It is really cool. The truckers, I thought, did a great job. They got farther into the race than IndyCar did without the first big pile up. And it didn't turn into the shit, we talked about could be a shit show. And it really didn't. It turned into a great race. We saw guys kind of coming and going and making moves, and we saw the whole gamut of it. So, this was a smashing success. I think we'll see the Truck Series there again. Could we see more than the Truck Series there in the future? I think it's definitely on the table. I mean, the San Diego 1-year deal, as far as been announced and all that, Is St. Pete on the schedule next year because this was such a good success for the Cup Series as well? And maybe we turn around and play the partner to, play the undercard to IndyCar like they're doing for us this weekend at Phoenix. I could certainly see something like that. So, yeah, what a great race. Just a lot of passing back and forth throughout the day. Awesome race. Really, really liked it.
I'll take this over the Roval any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Like that's 100% better than the Roval because at least it's an actual course that cars run on. And then, of course, to watch the Indy cars do it the next day, that was a lot of fun. But congrats to Lane Riggs. Picks up his first win in a while, gets that monkey off his back, holds off Ty Gibbs and Ben Rhodes. Oh, my God. You want to talk about listen, I'm going to skip to my outrights because Majeski and Rhodes were both my outrights.
Majeski was the best truck on the day, hands down. I mean, he was so fast. He looked so good. And then Piano fell out right out of the sky, right on him, Rod, like it often does to Majeski. But great call for you. And Rhodes looked outstanding. This 2 weeks in a row, we've been on Rhodes, and he's looked good. It's a few-week break, but certainly Rhodes is not going to have a good Darlington. There's no way he puts 3 in a row together, right? But we should have. You played Rhodes, but you didn't even factor in the Joey Logano effect of it's a new track, and we always compare Rhodes to Joey. That's all I was thinking when he was leading. God, Rod, you saw it coming, right? It's a new place, the Joey Logano effect. But, great call by you on these outrights, Majeski and Rhodes, and obviously neither of them cash, but they both looked, I would argue those were two of the better trucks on the day. Riggs certainly in that mix as well. Yeah.
You had a few of your own that unfortunately didn't really come through.
Yeah, I'm glad that I decided to take it pretty light on this race. Just the unsure what was going to happen, how it was going to look. It didn't quite pan out how I thought it would. I went with Justin Haley. I thought he was going to look good. He ended up kind of being one of the first guys to not do well. I think he was the first guy that spun and just kind of couldn't figure it out throughout the day. He ended up coming back to 12th place, so that was fine. Also took him in a group, which he didn't win thanks to guys like Ben Rhodes. So, it was a swing and a miss on Justin Haley. Again, we didn't really know what to look at. I like the street course stuff we'd seen at Chicago. Took that, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what Ram does going forward. I think they're maybe not going to be as good when we start getting into the traditional ovals like Darlington. But swing and a miss on Haley.
Yep. I had Rhodes over Honeycutt. That actually had me scared for a little while because Caden looked like he charged through the field. That guy, he started 19th, finished 5th, and he was making some pretty big charges there toward the end of the race, and he was a very, very fast truck. And I thought for sure that Rhodes was going to get swallowed by him. And I kept that 1 car buffer, that 38 car buffer, or their 38 truck buffer between him and Honeycutt. But this one came to the window. But man, Rhodes just fast all damn day. Rhodes leading the 23 laps in the first couple stages, and just like I said, looked really damn good.
Yeah, he absolutely looked good. I had the Timmy Hill top 5 at 18-1. This was a complete chaos play. We didn't get chaos, and Timmy Hill came nowhere close to the top 5. So is what it is. Again, that was just hey, in case it's a total utter shit show, and that's not what we got, which I'm glad we didn't get that because that's not what I wanted to see. Winning truck even number, though, plus 145. This might have been the bet of the week, right? Yes, Rhodes was up there for a bit, but it looked like Majeski was going to win in the 88 truck, and then Lane Riggs obviously took over. Chandler Smith even kind of made you think for a little bit he could be in the mix there. But a majority of the day was led by even number trucks. Plus 145, we got a really great number there. So that one cashed out for me. Rod, you had a top 5 that was looking all right for a little while.
Well, it's looking great at qualifying. Dario Franchitti qualified in 6th place, and he kind of ran around there for a little while.
He was top 10 all day long. Like he really was until the very end.
Well, and then he said it himself because he was in the interview during the IndyCar race. He's like, I was smacking the walls left and right out there. I didn't even know what was going on. He was hot. He was, getting ice bags, and Jimmy Johnson was like, it's cool, man. You got this. And next thing you know, he's just slapping around walls. And I think he had a problem on pit road for a little bit where he had to, no. That was just during the stops.
Yeah. They ended up having some type of issue and he retired, but it was still a good call. I think for the number you got it at, he did well and performed pretty good. My outrights, Gio Rogero, I don't know. He started 3rd. You thought, okay, this is great. He wasn't that impressive. I mean, he had an okay day. Like he ended up, I guess he didn't end up finishing. Where did he end up finishing? Fuck. Why am I not seeing Gio on here at all? Maybe he didn't. Did he not? Oh wow, yeah, he finished 25th. So
I was
I
gonna
don't
say,
remember
you're a
even.
couple spots above Dario.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened there, but he looked okay kind of throughout the day. You never thought he was going to win. The Haley thing we talked about. Andres Perez de Lara, 45-1. I mean, he ends up in 7th place. That's not bad. You're kind of putting yourself in position. Again, that was more of a, you probably need some crazy stuff to happen. We didn't get that with the leaders. So I'll take it for what it is. But yeah, that's how it went.
Indeed. All right, we've got Preston waiting on the line. So Cody, put Preston up on stage and let's say hello to one of our good friends, Preston, who really has the just pulse on F1. If you really want some in-depth stuff, go to the F1 channel on Discord and you'll find some great research for that. So Preston, welcome to the show. Man, why am I not hearing Preston? Preston can hear me.
Can you hear us?
But I can't hear Preston. This is quite ridiculous because I know that I've got sound coming from my computer to the but I don't know why nothing's coming from here. Can you hear him on your phone? That's the one question I want to ask. Preston, hang tight. Cody wants to listen to his phone, so we'll get you to say something here real quick. Preston, go ahead, say hello.
Preston, can you hear us?
They can hear him in there, but I can't hear him in here. That doesn't make any sense to me. Can you hear him on the phone?
I can't.
This is great.
They're saying they can.
They're saying they can't. We can't hear him in there. This is ridiculous. All right, continue on. We'll figure this out. But let's go to the O'Reilly series where they were at COTA. And that was a pretty good race as well. Like I felt like the O'Reilly series race was what we had hoped for it to be. And I think kind of what we got too, with SVG coming away with the win there, leading 31 of the 65 laps. But this one had some moments in it as well. Austin Hill coming in second. No, I don't think there was any way he was going to end up winning. But he said he was going to try. Sammy Smith coming in third. Love and Corey Day, the new terrorist, coming in fifth on that one.
Oh man,
yeah, but there was some drama in this one as well.
Yeah, talk about a terrorist for sure. Corey Day is that guy, but yeah, this was one where I mean, Zilisch obviously kind of had struggles throughout the day, still fought his way back up there, looked really good, had a shot to get it done, but Corey Day took him out late, and Shane, there was just, I don't think anybody was really going to touch Shane, and he took care of business.
Yep. And then Connor Zilisch, not very happy with the way his race turned out, and made it known that there was one guy to blame for that, Cody, and that was the guy that I gave out a couple weeks ago to be a top 5 car. Did it again at a road course.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to keep getting top 5s out of the deal, maybe it's worth it. But yeah, certainly going to be a little bit of the talk, and he was very, very not pleased with one Corey Day. All right, Rod, let's head to the betting markets where I had William Zilisch over Carson Kvapil. This was an interesting one because, the thought was Kvapil's going to be in the 91 car. Now, we knew that it was going to be JRM prepped, right? We said that on the show, but it was going to be the 91 team on the car. That definitely takes a point down. How many cars is JRM prepping? But Zilisch looked good. He qualified well and really was running well kind of throughout the day. But he was a late victim. He might have actually been in that same Corey Day bomb there, and ended up dropping back to 19th. William Zilisch, on the other hand, just ran himself a solid day kind of throughout the day and ends up with a 7th place finish. So he does take down this head-to-head for me at -120. Kvapil definitely gave me a bit of a sweat. I think we do need to maybe treat the 91 car with a little more respect when it is prepped by JRM. But ultimately, got lucky on this one. Zilisch with a solid day. 7th place is not bad, but definitely needed a little bit of chaos in there to help it come through, but come through it did, and we'll take it how we can get it.
Yeah, and William Zilisch, yeah. I mean, I knew Carson Kvapil was going to be good, so I don't know. I always have the JRM love, and I should have flipped that one for you in the sheets, so you'd have been right. But I had Sammy. Well, see, this is where I went JGR over JRM, and I got burned by it. I should have never taken your advice on my own card But I took Gray over Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith, man, have a day. Why don't you? He was literally, I mean, he started 10th, but he was running around the top 5 all day long. Gray sniffed it every once in a while. And on those pit cycles, I thought maybe Gray would be able to hold on to it. But now, I mean, Sammy Smith just doing some good stuff. And I'm a little surprised that because he hadn't done well at that track before, right? I used that as my whole handicapping. I was like, he just hasn't necessarily gotten it done at this track. And well, prove me wrong. So, all right, that's fine. I'll take it on the chin.
Yeah, Sammy Smith he is a good road course guy. I had talked about how I had this same matchup and then ended up taking it out of there because I just talked myself out of it just enough. But yeah, I don't know. Sammy Smith, definitely a guy we're going to have to continue to give respect to when it comes to the road courses, I think. Over in the top 5 market, I had Brent Cruz, top 5, plus 250. Cruz looked really good throughout the day. Comes home in 6th place, just shy, but he looked good. He at one point, it was SVG, Connor Zilisch, and Cruz was right there. He was the next guy hanging out for a while. I think maybe burned his stuff up a little bit, fell back, kind of fought back through it, but ends up with a 6th place finish, just shy of missing this, unfortunately. Austin Green, I had the top 5 at plus 650. This one looked really, really good. Green comes out, qualifies extremely well. He ended up starting. Where did he line up? If I could find the right tab. His practice, I think, is where he was the better. Yeah, so he was the 3rd fastest guy in practice. So you're like, okay, that's something to work with, right? He starts in 13th, which isn't bad at all. But unfortunately, when it came to the race, he was hanging around for a while, but ended up collected up in one of those things. And then I think, no, maybe he didn't have mechanical. He was the last guy on the lead lap, 33rd. So I think maybe he was one of those last lap casualties of the chaos there. But I don't know, the top 5 was going to cash. I never saw top 10s for O'Reilly this week, unfortunately. But I felt like that would have been the place to get him. But at plus 650, it was all right. Hunter, like me, had Sawallich, top 5, 10-1. So close. 7th place. I mean, you can't ask to get much closer at a 10-1. That's what you want as a guy to put himself in the right position. Sure, you needed a guy like Zilisch to get taken out by Day there. Unfortunately, Day didn't take himself out. Could have maybe cashed this one if he'd got 2 more spots there at the end. But at 10-1, for a guy to come within 2 spots, you're close to hitting a bet like that, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, speaking of close to hitting a bet, how about close to hitting a Sam Mayer top 5? This was heartbreak. This was cashing all damn day long. Man, and then Sam Mayer ends up 14th because he got caught up in just some last late race stuff and fell out of contention for a top 5. But he was chasing down, man. Yeah, he was
bad beat. He looked. Yeah. He was one of the better cars in the day. Honestly, he looked really, really good.
Yep, Sam Mayer was definitely one of the better cars all day. He was fighting. He led 8 laps in this race. I mean, that's all you have to say about that. He was fast enough to lead these races. He was fast enough to be, out there and damn it all if he just couldn't hang on to it. It sucks too, because this is one where you're right. Your handicapping's right. You do everything right. And then by an act of whatever on the track, because again, Sam Mayer and Shan van Gisbergen and all these guys that were up front all day long, regardless of the pit cycle and regardless of everything going on. Again, late race, just nonsense, and it gets caught up in it. And yeah, I'd rather not talk about this anymore. But Sam Mayer, top 5, I would have done it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would take him 25-1 to win again. Look, we saw it on Sunday, right? These guys can be beat. So that's the point to take away for the long shots and why to have them. I told you I couldn't decide between Zilisch and SVG. I did over in the Discord. I put it in there, but I got SVG live at -110 when Zilisch started having his mechanical issues. Now they did great job working on that car and getting him back in contention, but obviously cashed the live SVG. So that was a nice way to also help save me on Sunday. But yeah, having Mayer there looking really good. Zilisch gets taken out, then who knows if something happens to SVG there, that's wide open for a guy like Mayer to be in there. Ross Chastain at 35-1. Again, long shot in case something crazy happens. 9th place run in that Jordan Anderson car. It's a solid day. Again, we thought it was going to be an SVG or Zilisch. It was an SVG or Zilisch because that's how it ended up playing out.
Certainly did. And then, of course, Zilisch was my outright. And, Yeah, it was an SVG or Zilisch, and unfortunately Zilisch got dayed, and there we are. So I definitely, unfortunately, did not come to that. And listen, we both said it too. We were like, this is Zilisch can also get his little hand smacked too, and he did it in his series. So it's just very difficult to kind of square up sometimes when your handicapping stops and your gut has to begin, right?
Yeah, and I feel like Zilisch was probably the better car in that race than SVG was. Obviously, he has the issues. SVG gets the position and just doesn't look back. But SVG obviously was beatable on Sunday. I think he was beatable on Saturday as well. And Zilisch would have been the guy to do it. But, the issues are what the issues were, and that's how it happens. So we're going to try Preston again, Rod. Do we think we have Preston on the line?
We have Preston on the line, but let's see what he has to say. Preston, go ahead and try to say it. Yep, I can't hear him. So we're going to go to break. We're going to have Cody try to take care of this and listen to see if he can hear Preston while I take my break. So let's step out real quick and tell you about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has got you covered for all of your pick'em needs for almost every single sport. Underdog has just increased their payouts. How about 2 pick entries now 30 or 3.5x, and 3 pick entries now pay 6.5 times your entry. Love Underdog. Looking at some of the, I tell you, I love all these crazy little sports that we've got going on. How about the Unrivaled basketball tournament? We have got definitely picks for that as well. There's PGA. There's how about Scotty Scheffler? He is the 5.5 tourney position for him in the Arnold Palmer. Let's take the better than, because it's Scotty Scheffler. Why not? Take the better than 5.5 tourney position. That is 0.86 times your entry. Load that up with a bunch of other stuff. Watch that multiplier go. Plus, Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5, get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN. Friends over at Novig, we're brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you're getting the best prices, and you're getting the best prices on all kinds of good sports. How about the Vegas Knights taking on the Buffalo Sabres? Vegas was my brother's favorite team, so we're going to go Vegas on the money line, plus 117. That one's for you, Nick. Going to take them at Novig at plus 117 to win Tuesday against the Buffalo Sabres. Absolutely love that line. Download the Novig app. Get $50 when you spend $5. Use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. It's Merch Madness time. That time of year again. 15% off of everything when you use our promo code MERCH. Gotta love all of. Look, I love my Racing Gambling Podcast hoodies. I love my Racing Gambling Podcast coffee mug. I am a company man. I drink from it just about every single morning, but there's beautiful stuff out there like that. The Let It Ride stuff is fantastic right now. So, and of course the first half unders, if you are so inclined, make sure you use that promo code MARCH for all kinds of great stuff in the merch store. Cody, did we get it figured out?
Great question, Rod. Preston, can you hear us? I don't know. I hate to have to say we're going to have to work on it again, but we're going to have to probably seriously just sit down and figure this out with Kramer, because I don't know. We could hear it before we started when we tested it, so I don't understand. It's like once the stream started, I don't know if that pulls something in your board away from it, but
I'm not quite sure either, because
I mean, it seemed to be working fine. And then like even I don't know. I can't, like when on the commercial, I muted my microphone and tried to listen, and I can't hear you at all in there. The guy said they could hear you.
Yeah, that is definitely weird. All right, I'm gonna try one more thing real quick, and then if that doesn't work, then we're just gonna call it good for this time.
Yeah, and well, if we can't get it work this time, we'll have to sit down with Kramer and try and work out the bugs. All
right, Preston, talk one more time. See, now I can hear you. I can hear you now on the board, but you can't hear me. Watch, I bet. Can you? Yeah. See. That's what's happening. Something's going on to where the output is not working correctly into my board. And I don't know what the disconnect is, but we'll have to get this figured out. So, all right. Well, then Preston, we'll put you later, and we'll go over the Cup Series now, where it was still kind of a rough day, right? Cup Series didn't necessarily turn out the way I would hope that it would be. I got one pretty decent bet, but the rest of them sort of fell off.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was heavily invested on SVG personally. The car lift on the Reddick stuff saved me from that completely, so it ended up not being a horrible day, but did hit quite a few bets, so I felt good about that. And there was a lot of stuff that just, man, some of the most random shit and random people breaking and stuff going wrong that just really the breaks didn't fall our way. Guys that are typically pretty good on this track that things didn't work out for. So that was a little bit, sucked, I guess, is how we'll put it. But I did have Tyler Reddick over William Byron, even money. This one just made no sense when they were, when he was even money. Byron was the minus 130 side of things. And yet, all the numbers pointed to Reddick, and glad we listened to that, because obviously he goes out. He's the best car on the day and gets the victory. So pretty easily covers this. And Byron, just kind of a non-factor all day. I mean, where did Byron finish, Rod? Because he just, I don't even hardly remember him.
He fell off
13th. Yeah. I don't even hardly remember him kind of being in the mix all day. So interesting there. And then I had Chase Elliott over Kyle Larson, because Kyle Larson had not been good here. And I would argue Kyle Larson wasn't good here yesterday either, but he did get the best of Chase Elliott by one spot, a 6th place finish compared to Elliott being in 7th. So honestly, neither of them really impressed me in any way, shape, or form. Alex Bowman, by the way, speaking of Hendrick cars, I believe only one Hendrick car is in the chase right now. Alex Bowman dead last. If you'll remember, I left Alex Bowman out of the chase this year, Rod, as he gets ready to vacate that seat for Mr. Hocevar. But hit the Reddick one at plus money, missed the Elliott one, so kind of split it on the head-to-heads here.
Yep, and my head-to-head was going until it wasn't. I had Ross Chastain over Ty Gibbs. No, but listen, this one was rolling almost all damn day. Ross Chastain was beating Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs was like back. He wasn't even in Austin. I think he was in Laredo or some other city way back in most of this race. But all of a sudden you look up and there's Ty Gibbs inside of the top 15, then inside of the top 10, then inside of the top 5. So look, hats off to Gibbs, man. But Chastain really blew it, because he had the opportunity to be the car that was battling everybody. And Chastain, outside pole, ended up in 35th place at the end of the day, just got himself into trouble, and that was it. So I will give Gibbs no other credit than that he did that, and I will continue to be off of him for the rest of the time I'm here.
Yeah, props to Chastain, highest qualifying Trackhouse car. He kind of joked about that. Nobody had that on their bingo card, right? With SVG and Zilisch over there, Chastain gets it done. So you felt really good because he started well. Things looked good. He looked good early, but I don't remember what his troubles were exactly. Oh, well, he had the pit road deal where he stalled the car out. He lost a ton of spots there. I think that really killed the momentum and just wasn't able to recover. Gibbs had the fresher tires there late, so that looked pretty good, and ended up with a good day for Mr. Gibbs. We'll call this section the bad luck section, Rod, because I had Chase Briscoe top 5 at 4-1. He goes out and starts really well, right? I think he started 3rd place, so right there in the second row, and then he was the 3rd fastest qualifier. You're like, all right, here we go. He jumps out to the early lead. He just takes it away from Reddick right away, runs off. All right, beautiful. We're going to have us a day. He's running top 5 when the transaxle breaks. Not to be confused with an axle, completely different. It was a transaxle. Glad that they really pointed that out on the Fox broadcast. But yeah, this was just a bad beat. Unfortunately, that broke and sent him to the garage. He finishes dead last. So tough day there, but I feel like this was a great bet to make. Chris Buescher, top 10, plus 150. Then we were getting at plus 200. But race day, it was like, oh, man, what a gift. And then, he got, I don't even remember who started that one. I think Zane Smith was kind of the culprit, but I think he maybe even got a bump, but got shoved out of there in that chaotic turn 1. Wasn't able to recover. 17 to 21 times inside of the top 10. I mean, I will 1,000% be betting that the next time we go to a road course, because you're probably going to get a similar number. Another one that all the numbers point to, it should have been a good bet. It looked good. He was fine. He wasn't overly impressive, but he generally isn't. I mean, outside of a couple great runs at Sonoma and the, beating SVG at Watkins Glen a couple of years ago, it's just more of a pedestrian. Oh, there he is in the top 10 day. We didn't get that because he got dumped there. And then Alex Bowman, a.k.a. Myatt Snyder, looked good early, and then I don't know what he had going on. Oh, yeah, JDK, it was Kyle. Kyle Busch decided to ram Jesse Love because he'd had enough of him. And then, yeah, that was how Chris Buescher ended up getting fucked out. So that sucked. But Alex Bowman, top 10, plus 150. He'd never not finish top 10 here. But I forgot to factor in the part of he wasn't going to make the chase. He's going to have a bad year. Carson Oswald is going to replace him. So that's where I messed up. Myatt Snyder obviously finishes the race. I haven't really heard much about what was going on there. It didn't seem like it was a heat thing. A lot of guys struggle with that. I noticed they already posted lines for the next road course, Rod. AJ Allmendinger to have a working cool suit plus $8 million to 1 for his cool suit to actually work, which is crazy. Because it never, I don't think that guy's ever had a working cool suit. It's amazing. But Alex Bowman had his issues too, and obviously had to be relieved. So cool to see Myatt Snyder get the advanced approval. He was not approved to race in the Cup Series, Rod. Chad Knaus asked somebody, and they said put him in, and he ended up in from being the TV spotter to driving the 48 car. Sometimes life comes at you fast.
Sure as hell does, especially when you're not feeling well and you have to sit in that Texas sun. Believe me, I know all about the Texas sun. It's just a horrendous thing to have to do. And not a fan of it at all. So feel bad for him, but what are you going to do? All right. I had Todd Gilliland in top 10. He was not going to be top 10. He was top 10 for a second. And then the pit cycles came through, and
he looked all right for a few minutes.
I was going to say he was top 10 for part of stage 3, but there's no real sustained top 10. It wasn't going to happen. I know he I think he was one of the ones to pit later on, and that kind of gave him a little, but then when everybody else pitted, it was over for Gilliland. So not a good day overall for the Gilly gang. And I apologize for writing it one more time.
I'll knock out the next two boxes because they have the same drivers in them. Had Ty Gibbs, top 10, plus 200. That obviously cashed for the 4th place finish. Also took him as the top Toyota at 8-1, which, he ends up being the 3rd Toyota, but you finished 4th place. Certainly that could have been flipped around, had Reddick or Bell had issues there. So didn't mind having that. The top 10 cashes, which is nice. And then Zane Smith, he looked really good. He was one of them that got caught up in the disaster of turn 1 there in that Zilisch wreck, unfortunately. But the top 10 at 13-1 had legs, had a shot. The top 4 at 40-1. I know Blaney was fast early, but he fell off bad. And then 8th place is where Blaney ends up finishing. Then 22nd for Joey Logano. Zane had himself in position to be in the mix for hitting this top 4 for us back-to-back weeks. It's going to continue to be a play. We'll see about Phoenix. I can almost assure you it'll be a play at Las Vegas. I got to dive into Phoenix a little bit more here. But, I was impressed with Gibbs, obviously. Hits the top 10. The top Toyota, it was a longer shot. We knew that probably wasn't going to be the one, and obviously we hit it with Reddick in the car lift. But love the top 10 for him. He once again impressed. And then Zane, for being long shots for both of those, I think both had legs. And just, that's road course racing for you, Rod.
Most certainly is, unfortunately. Chris Buescher also had legs, and then he didn't use them that well on the track. So, unfortunately, he did not cash this top 5 for us, and it was never going to cash the top 5. When you had guys like Reddick, SVG, and Bell running around all day, and even Blaney for that matter, it was just Buescher was not, and he got himself mixed up in a couple of bad situations. And
I'll use the Connor Zilisch line. I'd like to see what would have happened if he didn't get spun out, Rod.
Yep, me too. So Chris Buescher, a gentleman's finish of 24th for him on the day. And it sucked. Yeah. I really wish he would have done better.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You get in the wrong spot at the wrong time, but the next one you did hit, Rod.
The next one I did hit. Yes, I hit Christopher Bell, top 3. And this one was another one that I was sweating for a hot second until he came in for tires and was holding and just kind of ran everybody down. Christopher Bell, top 3, plus 325. Not to say that he would have ever had anything for Tyler Reddick if he would have kept it going, but I don't know. A few more laps, and maybe we're talking about Christopher Bell and making Marcus's day with a win. But listen, Christopher Bell was one of those guys. He was one of those guys that we just knew was going to be around the front all day. He started 8th, and he was just running up front. He pit when he needed to pit, no mistakes. The late pit too to put the tires on when the Ty Gibbs of the world came in. That was a great call. He drove his way back up, didn't put himself in bad positions, and just continued to work it away until he made it to 3rd. And I mean, thank God, because I was about to throw the entire brick through the TV if Christopher Bell hadn't come through with this. But yeah, just another great day at COTA for Christopher Bell.
Yeah, great call by you there. Catching up with the chat real quick, JDK said 3 letters that absolutely ruined his day. KFB, what a bum. Dude needs to spend a few years in O'Reilly, and Richard needs to have difficult conversations. Taking some shots at our buddy Rowdy there. Willow checking in, says road course must bets, Michael McDowell and Ryan Blaney. Blaney certainly, he was the guy that early in the race I was thinking, boy, we had nothing. We didn't even talk about him. And look how impressive now. He ended up falling off. I don't know how much of that was him overusing things, but we'll see. And then Willow says Ty versus Briscoe hit for Willow. So, yeah, that's, man, the Briscoe thing broke my heart, but glad I had some money on Ty. The car lift, Rod. We were so close the first 2 weeks with Carson Hocevar, and then Tyler Reddick brings it home. Insane that they laid -120 for his top 10 over on DraftKings. That is the misprice of the entire year. You will probably never see a bet this good again. It just, I mean, there was never any question he wasn't going to finish in the top 10. I don't think there was ever any question he wasn't going to finish in the top 5. Maybe not any question he wasn't going to finish in the top 3, other than early in that first stage where he dropped back to 8th, and you're like, oh boy, here we go. But then you saw it was like he saved his stuff because he dropped back, and then all of a sudden he started turning in the fastest laps, moving up a little bit. And yeah, he was just impressive. So obviously he goes on to win. He cashes the top 5 at +275, took the top Toyota at 3-1, and had the win at 16-1 over on Bet365 there, which, I said it. SVG is going to win this race. I was so confident in it, but I still gave you 2 long shot guys to win the race because you want to have the insurance plays. There's always that little bit of what if, and we knew Reddick was going to be a guy who could put himself in position and have a shot. I was confident he was going to hit the top 10, felt good about the 5, the top Toyota, and then you throw in the win there just in case. And luckily, the winnings from this hopefully covered your day on SVG because it certainly did for me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that was the best call of the day, obviously, was Tyler Reddick, and there was no doubt about it. And the fact that he went all the way up on the car lift is just fantastic. And it, like you said, it definitely saved the card because there's a lot of swings and misses by both of us on this one. So your 18-1, your 3-1, your 275 covered the just basically poor days from Gilly Busher and everybody else that didn't get it done in Chastain. I did get this right, though, and there was no doubt about this one. The under 4.5 cautions. I told you I know it was juiced at -130, but you only pay the juice if you lose. And look, there was no paying the juice on this one, man. There was these guys, there was one caution for cause, and that was, of course, Kyle Busch not being happy with Jesse Love. I think that was the caution. Was that the caution?
There? I don't think there was a caution.
That wasn't the caution.
I think it was just the 2 stages, wasn't it? I don't.
No, there was one more. There was one more for debris.
Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain ended up stuck for a minute, and
that's what it was.
Yeah, dropped debris, and there was that. That was the caution. That was actually the caution that saved the hopes on SVG because I don't think he was going to get there before that. So, but this was an easy cash for you. Great call. NASCAR let it play out as we've seen them do, and only had to throw it the one time. So easy hit there. Great call. Obviously, we've talked about it. The Reddick win hit. I had the SVG +110. I would play it again, like I said. And Briscoe 25-1. You felt really good about that when he starts 3rd place, jumps into the early lead. Like, okay, if it's not an SVG day, we got Briscoe here, then Reddick comes up later. So I feel like we played that pretty well. You take the guy who every single thing was pointing towards, you take him at this number, and we got close to hitting it. While he didn't, okay, you have these couple of insurance plays, and that Tyler Reddick insurance, I can't push that enough, Rod. 1-800-3-PETE. You call that, get yourself some Tyler Reddick insurance. Paid off nicely for me. Yes, and JDK is correct. Chastain lost a wheel. It's hard to remember all the shit that happened this weekend, Rod.
It was right after the pit stop that he made, and that's what I'm saying, because he was going to beat Ty Gibbs. Yeah. He was going to beat him.
Maybe not at the end of the day. I don't know that he was going to finish 4th. But
I think he could have held off Ty Gibbs at the end if he would have had the right number of wheels on, because they both pitted around the same time.
I've heard having the right number of wheels is important, Rod. And
well, once or twice.
His wheel picked to find time to leave him.
Yeah, he picked to find time to leave me loose wheel. All right. That's it for the Cup Series. We've done thoroughly. Did that one. We actually also did some. We'll just really quickly go over our IndyCar picks because that was a really good day for us as well. IndyCar picks came through, and they were both at St. Pete, so the trucks and them were at St. Pete. So I feel like it's a good time to go over that. Cody, let's go over that. I'm looking now because I didn't have it clicked on this. I feel bad.
You threw me off, Rod. I wasn't prepared. Okay, here we go.
That's fine.
Yeah. So this was definitely an interesting one. I gave out Willpower over Marcus Ericsson. Unfortunately, there was no Willpower for Willpower. Boy, he sucked. I don't know. He didn't look good. Ericsson looked good. I had noted that he was good at this track, but I was kind of downplaying the overall. And I was leaning into Power having that, let's go get him. New car, new team, got divorced from the old, the wife we've been with forever. We got the hot new girlfriend. Here we go. She wasn't that hot, Rod. So yeah, that's this one.
Yeah, no, he didn't even get going. That was the poor thing about it. He didn't even get a lap in, I think, before he got taken out. So unfortunately, that did not work for you.
Multiple times that's happened to him at this track. So
yeah, indeed. All right, but mine, God, man, you want to talk about sweating mine? This was almost like the Christopher Bell top three. At the end of this, I had Scott McLaughlin, the number 3 car, ahead of Kyle Kirkwood.
Which, by the way, it was beautiful when the announcer of the IndyCar race himself accidentally said Scott Dixon when he meant Scott McLaughlin. And I was that meme of Leo just pointing at the TV going, hey, that's what Rod did.
I'm telling you, it happens to the best of us. Like when you have New Zealand guys named Scott, it just doesn't, it's not easy to, or it's very easy to get it mixed up. But yeah, Scott McLaughlin, Kyle Kirkwood, Scott put it on the pole and finished in second place. But boy, he was really fast all day long. And I mean, I thought Kirkwood was going to 15th. He started and just climbed to 4th. That was a great strategy. Yeah. Great passing by Kirkwood. It had me sweating there for a little bit because Scott had to get himself back up there and pass Kyle Kirkwood to get there. And they put Lundgaard in between them for comfort. So good job, Scotty Mack.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great call by you on Scotty Mack there. I had Pato O'Ward top 3 plus 180. I don't really remember if Pato was racing in this one, Rod. 5th place, but man, I just felt like you never saw him all day. So unfortunately didn't hit the top 3. And then Power, we've already talked about it. There was no Willpower in Willpower.
No, there was no any power in Willpower. But all right, and then I had Scott Dixon as a top 3. Scott Dixon in the 9 as a top 3. Scott Dixon he got taken out early. He was in that wreck.
Wasn't he? I feel like he was running pretty good. Like there was a point. Yeah, he got taken out pretty early, but he was running pretty well, I thought, before that. And then we ended up, not getting there.
No, he was never going to be a top 3 car, unfortunately. He was running okay. And he did have a couple of laps that he was leading through that pit cycle, but he only made it 39 laps on the day. So no top 3 for Scott Dixon.
Yeah, I had Joseph Newgarden plus 625. Horrible qualifying effort. I think he started where did he start? It was really, really bad.
Newgarden started all the way back in
17th or 23rd. It was 23rd. So yeah, I mean, and then he found his way all the way up to 7th, which is a pretty impressive day. But when you start that far behind, you're really just killing yourself. So unfortunate there. And Lundgaard 12-1, 3rd place finish. Got on the podium there at the end. Maybe if you get a late caution, he did have fresher tires. You get an opportunity there. But, the IndyCar really, did they only have the 1 or 2 cautions too? I mean, it wasn't, they had one on the first lap, and then it was pretty clean to end the day. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I forgot Max Verstappen was in the race, and good thing you bet on him, Rod.
Told you. 4-1 was way too long for Alex Palou.
He just killed everybody.
There was no, yeah, he started 4th, and he rode around for a little while, right? He wasn't necessarily jumping to the lead. He got out in the lead during that pit cycle and never gave it up. Just
his strategists, man, it seems like they always, and he almost, there was a car that spun that almost didn't get going, where they would have got a caution and it would have completely fucked below. But it ended up working. The guy got going. They didn't have to throw the caution, like saved his day. But his strategists are always on point. It doesn't seem to matter where he starts, where he's running. They will find a way to get him out front. And then once he is, you just can't catch the guy. He's just that damn good. He was minus 200 to win the championship coming into this week. I haven't seen updated odds, but I'm sure that's, beyond unbettable at this point in time. So Palou is just, he's next level, man. It's really crazy. And great call by you on just amazing we got this type of number on him. It'll be interesting. Oval track this week at Phoenix is definitely different, but next time we get to a road course or street course, it'll be interesting to see what Palou gets priced at here in a couple of weeks.
Indeed, led 59 laps of the 100 laps in the race. So dominant day for Alex Palou. We'll see if we get that again next week in Phoenix. All right, speaking of Phoenix, Cody, that is where we go next. We will be in Phoenix for the Cup Series, for the Indy Series, for the O'Reilly Series. I don't believe there's trucks.
No trucks. Trucks have a couple of weeks off. They'll be back at Darlington, but I think that's about 3 weeks from now. So no truck series. So the schedule this week, Rod, looks like Tuesday. We'll have our Cup Series picks, of course, for Phoenix. On Wednesday, we're going to talk O'Reilly Series at Phoenix. And then we are going to pump in some F1 picks as well at the end of that show. They'll be kicking off their first Grand Prix of the year in Australia. And they are, think of this like NASCAR 2022, next-gen car type of thing. It's up in the air. Guys like Max Verstappen are kind of longer shots, like 8-1, I think I saw, or 5-1. So it was much longer than you'd expect of Verstappen. The reigning champion at Lando's like 8-1. So it's going to be interesting to bet on F1, especially early in the season. So we'll talk O'Reilly. We'll talk F1, on Wednesday. And then we'll come back Thursday, DFS once again, and IndyCar. They will be at Phoenix on Saturday. They are a companion race, right? So we'll have O'Reilly. We'll have IndyCar both on Saturday at Phoenix. And then, of course, Cup on Sunday. So, we'll talk DFS and work in the IndyCar talk again as well.
I wish they do IndyCar in Sonoma. That would be so much fun to have a weekend where they did that. Oof. Just gets.
I hope we continue to see them partner going forward. I mean, with the relationship, and it's going to be early in the season because that's when Fox is a part owner now of the IndyCar series, so that helps. But Penske is the majority owner. He obviously owns Cup Series stuff. We've seen him work before, like pre-COVID days, I think it was, when we did like the double at the Indy Road Course and stuff. Kind of got away from that, but I love this 2 weeks in a row of NASCAR and IndyCar being side by side. I hope we kind of continue to see that, especially if we can use some of their, street races. They can use some of our ovals, whatever the case is. I think it could continue to be fun to, double up on these as we go forward.
I concur. All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging with us on this recap show. We look forward to having you along with us all week long as we cover Phoenix for all different series in Australia, which, by the way, Cody, I love your thumbnails of the desert. That is a great play there because they're all in the desert this week.
Everything's in the desert this week. So desert-themed thumbnails over on the YouTube. Go check it out.
Indeed. All right. Well then, Cody, and thanks for everybody that hung with us. We will get this. I promise you that with the Phoenix recap, we will have this figured out. So don't go anywhere with the calls. We will get this figured out. That is my promise to you. And if we don't,
it's when we get it dialed in and it's not so sloppy, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we look forward to it. And especially when we can have those, when we're able to do the Sunday live recaps right after the race, get your instant reactions. Going to be a lot of this as we keep working through it. We appreciate it. It's still new to really the only people that do it is the main show on SGP. So, and it's not simple, as you can obviously tell.
Yeah.
We'll keep working on it.
Even when I like run a test beforehand and then all of a sudden it comes showtime, that's when everything wants to clam up. So, all right, Cody, let's send everybody on their way. They don't care about this anymore. They just want to go home. So let's send everybody home. Let everyone know where they can find you outside of this world.
Yeah. Follow me over on the X at @Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. Can be ramping up the college basketball stuff. We're into March now. That's exciting. NFL future stuff, mock drafts, all the fun stuff. Doing the player profiles for the Washington Wolfpack of the Arena Football. You get to meet some of those players. That's pretty exciting stuff. So, check it all out at @Husker_Zeeb. Click the like, click the subscribe, comment, bells, whistles, all the fun stuff the kids say. We appreciate it. See you guys tomorrow.
Bells and Larsons and Byrons. Oh my. All right. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Make fun of me because I make you cringe, which I've done several times over. I was in front of a group of high school students this week trying to recruit, and every one of them laughed when I did 6'7", and they all just said, yep, this guy's old. So, all right. Anyways, mock me
Dad,
on
you're
Twitter.
embarrassing me.
I just don't care anymore. It's my right as I turn 50. But yeah, follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez, and we'll hang out and have some fun, and you can poke fun at me. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Cup Series when we're doing this, breaking down Phoenix. So until then, join us on our never-ending quest to make NASCAR betting fun again. Let's go racing and let it ride.
Yeah!